If you complain about the prices being a little bit too high, you don't get an invitation.
Next time.
The next time.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because clearly you can't afford.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Why
you know
were
what I
the
mean.
people at the auction?
I don't know. Ask them.
That's my thing. Because I think there's just too many things where I still don't get it. There's this fake thing that does the same thing, that shines as bright or even brighter.
Yeah.
But you guys are still here. What a gone with that?
The sapiosexual platter.
What makes something valuable? Is it the price someone is willing to pay, or the courage to say no when the bid is too low? This week, we are unpacking how value is conferred. From the diamonds beneath our soil to the women in our society and the very idea of selling citizenship. Because whether it's beauty, labor, or nationhood, someone, somewhere, is setting the price. And the question is, should they? My name is Shatani Somalakai.
And I am Belle Abo Ame.
Welcome to the sapiosexual platter.
Another week.
Another week of living our dreams.
Oh my God.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers to that, right? Woo. With coffee? Okay.
Always.
Let's look at each other in the eyes, shall we?
You don't want 7 years of bad kisses. With alcohol is bad. You know what? With coffee, 7 years of bad kisses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. You're setting your own standards.
Value.
Yeah.
I'm a
Love
very
that.
valuable person.
Amen.
You know, when you have value, you set your own standards. And I'm excited because I now see that Botswana has value.
Yeah.
And it has a very strong sense of self-worth. Recently, just to bring you guys up to speed, just a few days ago, Botswana declined to allow for the sale of diamonds to take place at a lesser price than the value in which we wanted to sell them for.
Yeah.
And it's been sending waves across the country.
I had goosebumps.
Yeah.
I had goosebumps. My soul shuddered.
Yeah.
I was like, this is bold.
Uh-huh.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And I knew that one day we were going to get to this place. I just didn't think it was going to be this soon.
Yeah.
So maybe to just give more context, because I read an article.
Yeah. Where's your phone stand? I just had to, because I didn't know you're using your phone as well.
Do that.
I had to. Honestly, sorry. Okay.
She got herself a phone stand and she didn't get me one. The audacity. Okay.
I didn't know you're using the phone for the episode.
Stop. So anyway, just to read, government fully supports Okavango Diamond's decision to halt the sale of diamonds. Minister of Minerals and Energy, Bokholo Kenowendo, says government fully supports Okavango Diamond's decision to halt the sale of diamonds after buyers offered prices below market value. Speaking today at the United Nations Kimberley Process meeting, Kenowendo said the move was necessary to preserve the value of Botswana's diamonds and avoid caving to pressure that could destabilize the global market. She explained that supply was withheld after buyers rejected the reserve price, emphasizing that Botswana remains committed to protecting its mineral wealth.
Yeah.
The failed auction comes amid growing pressure on the global diamond trade, with weakening demand in China and rising competition from lab-grown stones.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should actually watch a clip, because there's a clip where she actually speaks to this at the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch the clip then.
And today we continue to change, to realign with our customers, to ensure that we protect the industry and we meet the demands of our customers. But certification isn't enough. We need to ensure that our actions that accompany certification and credibility, inclusivity, enforceability also works towards responsibility. And this means working really hard to maintain the value of our resources, taking the difficult decisions when it's called to do so, and ensuring that we are not being forced on a race to the bottom. Because a race to the bottom is only discounting the impact and the value that can be brought to our communities if we safeguard our natural resources better. And these difficult decisions, we have not shied away from them, even in the nearest past. Taking a deliberate decision to reject offers that are much lower than what our reserve price. This is to ensure credibility in a market, is to ensure sustainability in the market, is particularly to ensure impact and full value of our product to the custodians of the natural resources.
Bold.
Yeah.
Really bold. And I stand behind it.
I
I'm
love
scared, but I stand behind it.
I'm not even scared.
I'm
like, this is it. We've
what?
arrived. If we're truly independent, if we're truly sovereign. Is it sovereign?
Yeah, sovereign.
Yes. If we're that, and if we truly have self-worth as a nation, as a people, and we really want to assert our value.
Yeah. And ascend and transcend.
Honestly, this is it. Because, diamonds, it's such a, when we come back to the conversation about just conferring value, it's such an interesting commodity.
Yeah.
To like try to understand like what is
it
going
about
on here.
this? Yeah.
So when I researched actually and just try to find out about like how do the sale of diamonds take place, how are they valued, and back to this auction that took place, I came to find out that when it comes to De Beers, they sell diamonds apparently through what you call site holders. So 90% they sell through site holders, and I think the other 10% maybe they might auction or do whatever they do. So apparently what used to happen in the past was that site holders were normally like firms for like cutting or polishing companies, diamond companies. And they would be invited and they would come into the country and then buy the diamonds that they want. But at the time, because diamonds were in such high demand, it was sort of like a take it or leave it type of approach. You come in, this is our price, take it. And if you complain about the prices being a little bit too high, you don't get an invitation.
Next time.
The next time.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because clearly you can't afford.
Yeah. So it was like a Rolls Royce type of situation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then also when you just also look at just in relation to Botswana's diamonds and their value. If you look at like maybe Russia, which is also a high producer of diamonds, sometimes you would find that maybe like 50 carats of Russian diamond would like maybe make, say for just argument's sake, 2 billion. And then maybe a diamond from Botswana, which has maybe the same carat weight, would be priced at maybe like 4 billion. Yeah. So De Beers has done a great job at marketing and valuing the diamonds of the country to the international community. So it's just so interesting that now, for the very first time, we see this value being challenged. And then in relation to the Okavango Diamond Company, the Okavango Diamond Company sells in a different way. They sell through auctions. So it's the inception of the company, they've been selling through auctions, 90% auction, and I think the other 10%, they try other means. So in this instance, there was an auction for diamond buyers to come and buy, but they were bidding at
Lower prices.
Yeah. So Minister Kenawenda was like, no,
We're not doing that.
we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We'll just take our diamonds and go back. And I thought it was very powerful because in any negotiation, in order to project the value of what you deem what you have is,
Yes.
you must hold your ground.
Yes.
Because when you hold your ground and you refuse to go any lesser, it's a communication to the person that you're
You're
negotiating
selling
with
Yes.
that you've reached your limit, and going anywhere below that is not profitable.
Yeah.
And I really love that stance because it communicates that this is the value of our diamonds and we're standing by that value.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just a little lesson on diamond.
Well, thank you
buying
very
and
much. I didn't even know that, so I'm glad to be informed. Yeah, I love that.
You know, but when I was thinking about this conversation and just the value of diamonds and just everything that's taken place in relation to diamonds, I wondered then, the original founders of De Beers, they sold to the new owners, right? So if diamonds are so highly profitable, why did the initial owners sell?
I mean, I have no idea, to be honest. Yeah.
Because that's the question that came to mind. And then I went into a rabbit hole. I was like, okay, what are they now doing? Now that they have come out of the diamond industry, what is their focus? And then come to find out that apparently, allegedly, they've been focusing on copper. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. They've left the diamond and they've gone for copper. Diamonds supposedly have more value, but they've decided to go for something that has perceived lesser value. Why is that so? Then it got me into another rabbit hole.
Okay.
Where I was like, okay, if they're into copper, and we've been seeing the rise of copper as a mineral, even just from like these self-care aesthetic stuff, you have that copper jar thing. It's just been a craze in the world. So clearly there is buyership, and the industry is growing in some capacity or the other because of the different demands that have been taking place, and also this whole green energy that the world is going into. Then I was like, okay, why then, if there is some value in this mineral, why don't we as a nation, being that Botswana also has copper, diversify our mineral portfolio? Instead of buying a bigger share in De Beers now, the diamond company, those people that started this thing, they've deviated and gone elsewhere. Why don't we pay attention to where they went and also make some investments in that regard? Then we're like, okay, since Botswana wants to buy a higher stake in diamond company in De Beers, as we spoke in the previous episode, and we're discussing like, okay, is it profitable? Then I wondered that, okay, why doesn't the government expand the portfolio of minerals by making further investments in copper, since the people who started this whole diamond thing, and they did it for so long and they understood it so well and they placed so much value on the Botswana diamond and they got to the level that they went to, if they decide to shift focus, we still want to do the diamonds. We see the value in diamonds, but we should also take some pages from their book to be like, okay, Lirankako, what are you doing? What is the focus now? And if you can give away or sell something that is so highly valuable and get into copper, maybe that should also be an area that we're looking into. And we are, as we've seen with the Taki mine recently.
Yeah.
But then the question becomes, how many of those copper mines are government owned? Does government put a lot of effort into these other minerals that are experiencing somewhat of a boom as they do diamonds? And instead of wanting a share in De Beers, should we maybe be considering having more of a stake in all these other mines and all these other minerals that are out there? So it's quite interesting, to say the least. So when I was just going down the rabbit hole and trying to figure out, okay, how do diamonds get their value? How are they sold? Who determines the cost? All of this, it just got me into the state of, what is their value? should we be diversifying and entering into maybe copper, and just like in the stance that we're not selling. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, yeah,
Possibly
I
rambling
think
at this
based
point.
on the very conversation we're having, which is
Yeah.
how is value conferred,
Yeah.
it's always a question of who sets the price. And if we want to be independent as a continent and as a nation,
Yeah.
then it's high time we start thinking about ourselves as the people that set the prices. And so, philosophically speaking, because I know there's the economic way of approaching a situation,
Yeah.
which is, well, Anglo-America is focusing on copper. So if they are anything to go by in terms of Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer is
Yeah.
focusing on copper, and if they're anything to go by as a market standard, then it makes sense that we should follow suit in terms of where our priority lies. But that's if we accept that they are the ones that set the standard.
Yeah.
And if we want that to continue to be the status quo.
Yeah.
And so I think what I like about this stance is that whatever the outcome, it is creating that muscle of we set the prices and we set the value.
Yeah.
And I guess in terms of the philosophy around value conferment, is you look at various factors. And I would think that the fact that there are people who want to buy is something that one can look at. It's one thing to say we have a stockpile and there's absolutely nobody to buy.
Yeah.
You have people there who are willing to buy, who, because of market perception, value conferment, or whatever, believe or want us to believe that the value has gone lower, because it's a game, I think. It's a game of negotiation. It's arguably, maybe this is what the value is. But if your psyche can be penetrated by me offering less than, I'm going to try that because of apparently where the markets are at in terms of the introduction of synthetic diamonds. And so then it's important to set the value by making a stance to say, well, yeah, I see all this synthetic lab nonsense, whatever that is.
Yeah.
This is the price.
Yeah.
You're here. Which means that you admit, you know, if we're penetrating your psyche, you wouldn't want to come here and buy something that is less valuable. So your presence here is an indication that this has some level of value. And now is our opportunity to set the value of that. But then for me to answer the question around, like, shouldn't we be focusing on copper? For me, it's like, well, we can't neglect the fact that there's stockpiles and that they need to be sold. I mean, what are we going to do with them? You know what I mean?
Stockpiles of what?
Of diamonds. Yeah.
I was wondering because you said copper, so I was like,
yeah. Stockpiles of diamonds that have been piling.
Yeah.
The mine, as far as I understand or know, is still operational.
Yeah.
And they're still digging stones every other day.
Yeah.
So what are we doing with them? Because for me, it's like, if we're going to completely disinvest in the idea of De Beers, we may as well close down the mine.
Yeah.
What's the point of investing so much time and energy in continuous mine operations if the idea is we're going to let it go? So I think
I don't think letting it go is a thing. I just think it's just a matter of diversification.
I think diversification, nobody denies that. I think government, like you're saying, it's just a question of how much energy is being put into it.
So not letting it go, but just expanding.
No, but I think there's an importance in terms of, so if, say, copper is the main thing, you wouldn't need to put as much energy in its marketing if the value in the market is at a particular place. But you do need to put energy towards marketing of diamonds if the value is being challenged. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a focus of priority in terms of marketing because of where the perception around the stone is being diamonds, which requires focus so that you can then sell it at a particular value. Which focus or energy you don't need to put into copper. With copper, the focus would be maybe setting up the mine or the machinery, making sure that the partnerships or alliances are mutually beneficial. But in terms of marketing, do we need to? If Oppenheimer is there and is setting the value or whatever, then that's not, we don't need to put energy in buy copper.
I think that
It's self-selling at this point.
I think the issue with Botswana and diamonds is that our economy is deeply reliant on diamonds, right? And I think that's where also they are, like, they understand the value of the diamonds, but because we're at a tricky place, it's easy to apply pressure to say, you know what, you are kind of desperate because, one, your economy is reliant on this thing. Two, nobody's really buying. You've got a stockpile. So demand and supply, economics, you know. So if you have a surplus in your diamonds, but the demand isn't there, it kind of forces your hands, especially being that you need money, you need to sell so that your GDP can sustain itself to a certain level. When you look at the Angolan diamonds, they've been selling, but they're able to sell at a lower price. Because the thing about Botswana is we're not willing to reduce our prices. Whereas with Angola, they have the flexibility to sell the diamonds at a lesser price because...
Is that the reason why they're selling?
They're selling because Angola is not dependent on diamonds as we are, right? So they're able to say in an auction, let us sell at a lesser price because we earn from mainly oil, and then diamonds, it's a by the way. So they have like flexibility to agree to a lesser price within sales because they are earning from other things, or the economy is dependent on earning from oil. We're dependent on diamonds. So our position in relation to diamonds is different, and that's why we wouldn't give in. But it's not to say that holistically in the world and in other countries, the price of diamonds is not low as well.
I don't know. Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
said, the question is, it's a question of value conferment.
Yeah.
It's a question of market manipulation. I think there are just lots of different forces. I'm obviously unaware of them.
Yeah.
But instinctively, I feel that where Botswana is at, we have the opportunity to set the value to some degree. I think so anyway. And where Africa is at, there is that opportunity, and the mindset around value conferment needs to change. Because if we're still talking about market dynamics, demand and supply, without recognizing that sometimes demand and supply is manufactured. It's manufactured with different players having their own strategic game over there. We'll withhold over here for a little bit. So we can create the perception that there's absolutely no demand for this. You know what I mean? Because that's another way to look at when I look at the Angola versus Botswana situation, that's how I look at it. Where it's like, okay, we will just go buy over there and create the perception over there in Botswana that you have no demand here. And then we succumb to that. And then later on you find out, oh, this was just a game to manipulate the value of the market. I think that's how they usually play the game in any event. It's applying pressure to create a certain value. And that's why the conversation around value conferment. And maybe we can now shift the subject in order to give context. To say, for example, in the context of work, salary negotiations, there are some people who earn more for doing the same thing. What sets the value for that? What are the dynamics at play for why certain people earn more even though they do maybe the same thing as other people? Why are other people able to demand more? Who is setting the value of that? What is their position relative to the company? What is the economic situation? All those different factors. And isn't it that the person who is aware that they can set the value at a more powerful place than the person who believes that, oh, it's just the market? Because if you've ever done a salary negotiation, that's what you would get. You would get somebody going, no, but the market, everybody at that position earns 10,000 pula. So why should I give you 15? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they'll give you, demand supply arguments, And then but they'd be willing to give somebody else 15,000, notwithstanding the perceived demand and supply.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's always more complex factors involved than just the simple demand and supply.
I hear you. I think with the example of an employee, that's more like philosophical value, right? Then with the diamonds one, it's like economical value.
You don't think there's a philosophy around it?
There might be a philosophy around it,
Or
but
a philosophy component?
there would be, but I don't think majority of it would be that, because we also have to account, we can't look at the value of the diamonds without looking at the rise of synthetic diamonds, because that's what's challenging the value. It's to say you are having a surplus of diamonds, you have your backlog. We are able to create this synthetic diamonds. They shine brighter, they are stronger possibly, or as strong. So therefore, being that we're able to achieve the same impact and outcome with a synthetic diamond, what then is the value of this? Because if we're going to look at value based on productivity, value based on impact,
Or look.
Yeah, or look. But some of the people that buy diamonds, they use them for machinery, right? So it's like, okay, if I use diamonds for cutting machinery or whatever they use it for, and the synthetic ones do the same thing and they are cheaper, what is the case for me going for the real thing that has been getting made for so many years and has this sentimental value? That is the argument that they make for it. I do highly believe that natural diamonds are valuable, but I'm just saying in relation to the demand and supply, to say we have a surplus from the real diamonds, from the synthetic diamonds, and they're able to achieve the same outcome. Therefore, why should we still be going for the real ones?
Why were the people at the auction?
I don't know. Ask them.
That's my thing. Because I think there's just too many things where I still don't get it. There's this fake thing that does the same thing, that shines as bright or even brighter.
Yeah.
But you guys are still here. What's a gone with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's more, to me, philosophical than it, or subconscious, or there's a word that I'm looking for, than it is economic. Because there's just too many things where you're just like, I think somebody's playing with my head here. I even remember an interesting philosophy that the president coined. He said, we can actually look at the clip.
They tell us natural diamonds are not selling because synthetic diamonds are claiming a sizable chunk of the market. A very weak proposition in my humble view. Because a fake can only sell where there is a demand for the genuine article. And the genuine article is the natural diamond. It cannot be supplanted and removed from its pedestal by a fake. So nobody must tell me that natural diamonds are not doing well because some fake is claiming the space.
Yeah, you heard it. He said it so well. Basically, the need or the creation of the synthetic diamonds comes from an appreciation of the value of the real diamond. You see? And so all I'm saying is it's a challenge. I don't disagree with anything that you've said. What I'm saying is an opportunity now to say, if there's a challenge to the value, do we succumb to perception? Because the people who are creating the synthetic diamonds want us to believe, or want the market to believe, that it's the exact same thing. And that happens. Every now and then, if you are the real Makoya, there is going to be a challenge to, are you the real thing? People, you're constantly having to rise to your title. If you're the best singer, the best brand marketing person, it's like, what's the next best thing that you're going to do beyond what you did prior? And every time you come on top, you disprove all the fakes that are trying to find relevance through you. Their relevance is through you, you see. So my thing is that to say, I don't want to accept, and I don't think Botswana should accept this idea, which is being coined around as a fact, as conclusive, to say, well, you know, it's synthetic diamonds and they're going to take over and they're better.
Yeah.
I'm like, if that were the truth, then honestly, you should not be at the auction. The fact that you're at the auction, for me, signals to me that you recognize the value, you know what you want to do with it, and you're quite happy to get it at lesser a price. But the fact that you were there for me says, let's continue on this and try and see how we can ourselves surpass the narrative that's being tossed around at the current moment.
Yeah. Like, it's interesting. Like, I agree with you. I am just simply playing the devil's advocate and saying, this is the stance, this is the economical stance, and this is what people are saying, this is how people are perceiving this. But one thing that I thought about when I was just thinking about this whole diamonds thing is how, when it comes to like Hermes, is it Hermes?
Yeah.
And Chanel and all of these things, like I think maybe Chanel is even, let me leave Chanel out, Hermes. It's like the prices are always going up.
Yeah.
And it's just what you call it, handbag.
Yeah.
And nobody ever goes, oh my God, the prices should go lower. Oh my God, the prices are going down because there's this new thing. Every single time Hermes prices go up and people are going to buy Hermes and it's going to be fashionable and they're going to share on their Instagram, and there's always a waiting list. There's always a demand for it. So I'm like, wow, this thing is man-made and it's just a brand. And then here you have diamonds that were made under pressure for many years. And, you know, the value is how rare it is and how not easy it is to make something, because it had to sit there for a million of years in order to get that sparkle and to come out as it is. And then you tell us like, oh no, this doesn't have value anymore. However, Hermes is a multi-billionaire company that keeps growing and people keep buying into it. So then it made me think like, okay, when you are conferring value, it's a matter of who has the strongest voice.
Yeah, the best story.
The best story, the powerful brand, the feared or authoritative stance.
Yes.
Yeah. And unfortunately for us, we haven't really made a lot of investment into our voice as a nation. When you think about brand Botswana, what comes to your head?
I think recently there's been...
Not from your
Yeah.
perception, from how the international community perceives us.
Brand Botswana's democracy. I think that's the strongest that we have going for us.
In theory, yes.
Yeah.
That is our value.
That is
But
what
when
brand
we go
Botswana
to Kenya,
is.
people are like, oh, where's Botswana? In South Africa.
Okay.
Oh, where's Botswana? Oh, I've never heard of Botswana. Oh, I'm meeting a Botswana for the very first time.
Right.
You know, there's 2.3 million of us in the country. How many of us engage with the international community, interact with the international community? How do we even sell ourselves as a country and say this is our identity, this is our value, this is our stance? So it's like when you then come to try to sell people about the value of this thing without you having a strong brand that is externalized in its voice and how its voice is amplified, it's hard to then say this is my value and I stick by it.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite hard. So
No,
for
I
me,
agree.
When I thought about value, I
It
was
would
like,
be it would
the one with the
definitely
strongest
be
voice.
Yeah, it's definitely be a challenge in creating, you know, the narrative around authority, as you say.
Yeah.
So I agree with you that, you know, that's something that Botswana definitely needs to continue to do. I think the past 10 years, it was hard. You're right that you would go to some countries and people wouldn't even know where Botswana is at. And I remember just going to South Africa and
Yeah.
you talk to somebody and they think Botswana is a province or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what?
And it's right next to
But I do think it has changed significantly.
Of course.
I think
It's
it has changed.
Yeah.
And I think the new government is doing a very aggressive job at PR around.
I would beg to differ, though. We're not gonna sleep on Musau and what he did.
He started it.
He started it.
Definitely.
People started hearing of Botswana with Masisi's regime, from the Forbes, from the USA Africa Summit that we hosted,
Yeah.
the tourism stuff that we
Yeah, there was a
and
lot
we
of
hosted
activity
so many
during
things,
his tenure
Yeah.
that laid the foundation
Exactly.
for where we are now.
Yeah.
And I think the new government is very aggressive
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
in terms of where we're at, the places that we go,
Yeah.
you know, how deliberate they are. I think every minister is very brand focused. You know, we see what they're doing, we see where they're at, we
Yeah.
see, you know, what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So it's supporting the now resolve to want to have a voice even within the value sector on how much we price diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I agree with you that in terms of the conversation around value conferment, the story is what sells.
Yeah.
The authority is what sells, and not necessarily the commodity in and of itself. So when there's a question around the commodity, the logical thing or a guiding point or post is to go back to what's the story,
Yeah.
and are they challenges to the story?
There is challenges to the story.
And the challenge right now is, well, we have this synthetic thing that shines brighter, does better.
I don't even think synthetic diamonds are like a challenge per se. I just think that the challenge is the story. Because if you're selling a premium good, and if this is a premium good, as we say, and we're calling premium prices for it, I don't see LV, Hermes going, oh, we're selling these luxury goods. Oh, help us. They're helping people in the industries or in China where we're making these things, you know. When you sell luxury, you assume the stance of value.
Yeah.
And to say, this is highly valuable. This is very rare. This is going to, you know, increase your brand power if people see you wearing the diamond. This is going to, you know, create cutting edge technology that is durable for so long if you use the diamonds. That's the sense. So
Or why would you want to wear synthetic? I mean, I thought you valued yourself. I thought you saw yourself as a person at a particular level and a person of a particular caliber.
yeah,
Right.
So it's interesting.
So you're basically saying the strategy to kind of place diamonds alongside sustainability or good governance or what is it? Sustaining of communities is punching a hole in
the story.
the story
If it's
of-
premium, it's premium. If we're diamond babies, we're diamond babies.
period. Full
We're
stop.
not begging anybody. And that's why I love Kenewindo's stance to say we're diamond babies. We are from a well-to-do nation. We may be experiencing whatever we're experiencing, but that is on you trying to exert your own pressures
or project.
and project. But we're taking our stance. And it's so interesting because I sent you the clip for His Excellency Masisi when he spoke on this whole diamond thing, and you know, Botswana were in an uproar that, oh my God, he insulted De Beers, and he actually didn't. Let's take a look at the clip.
Go back.
Akere le itse traction. Ke ba e bela. Salah. Ke thaise maboyo bona ke la. Nka palwa ke lempurana le go teng DBS. Nako e be e tla tsitla. E be re bitsa. E kile ba per. Hanna dikgwedi ka nna tharo di ka nna kae ba diega ha iske go e ka e be go wela 25% e be re mmona.
So yeah, so for me it was interesting because he said these are our diamonds and we should learn how to sell them. We should increase the beneficiation chain of it. And we shouldn't allow clauses that are suppressive.
Exactly. Yeah, and that don't allow us to explore what to do with our very own stone.
Yeah. So now in hindsight, like at the time, Botswana was very angry. But in
polarized.
hindsight,
you look at it, you're like...
When you look now, with everything that's unfolding, you're like, oh my God, he was actually onto something with this. And he really was defending the value of our main commodity.
Yeah. Value conferment. I think let's get into the game.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your own personal experiences
with value?
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the value of me. That's a story for another day. But maybe we can talk about this new development of like placing a value on our passport and selling it.
Oh wow, you're literally the queen of deflection. Did you guys see what she did there?
I like talking about myself. Check me out on Bell Sub Consultants. You'll find out more. That's where I talk about myself.
Okay. Well, it's fine. We don't need to get too personal. But I feel like the only reason I said that is because I feel like you're one of the people that taught me, I think, like really started making me conscious about the concept of value.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
In many ways.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
in many ways. Like I would have a conversation with you and I would go back to work at the time or in the context of even like relationships.
Yeah.
I'd be like with my, my spine up, like, no.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, just realizing that at a personal level, there's a way that people can confer value on themselves, and people don't know that they have that power and that they're always allowing external forces to dictate their value.
Before we move to the nation one, how do you then confer value on oneself? Let's say if your self-worth is compromised or your values compromised, how do you redirect and increase your value?
I always say education. Obviously, I'm going to say education. Understanding, exposure, education, just seeing how the world operates, and then recognizing that there are people who have conferred value on themselves, and it's just that they just woke up one day and made a decision. That's the power of it. It's just about making a decision, and then everything just kind of aligns to move you to that direction. But it's not in you doing things. It's almost, it's inherent. It's like the concept of human rights and how it's inherent. You have a right to food and a right to this and a right to that. When you intrinsic value. When you recognize that, then it just kind of aligns and it builds. But I think
I feel like education is great, but sometimes people get educated on the wrong things.
On the wrong value?
Yeah. No, not the wrong value. It's like the education that we got all our lives. Like you get into our 20s and you're like
chlorophyll and
what were we doing? Head, thorax, abdomen, and we can't even know anything about our digestive system. We don't know how to take care of ourselves. So, yeah.
So, no, I think I like the consciousness that everybody's coming to. But, I mean, the right education, obviously.
But, how does somebody arrive at the right education?
I think when you're
educating yourself, you think it's right because it's education. But there is negative education. There's positive education.
I think the results.
How do you arrive to, increasing your self-value?
Yeah.
By coming across the right information.
I just think it's if you're taught something and then you apply it and then the results are not what you expect, or the results demonstrate clearly that there's something amiss, then that's an indication that the education focus or the compass that you're on is probably not the right one. So if your education results in bad relationships, in bad work experiences, and it's like, why do you make the decisions that you make? How do you find yourself in the place that you found yourself? Well, it's because I listened to A, B, C, D, and who said, and I read this other book, and it's led me here. It's like, well, babes, you need to read different books.
Yeah.
It's like that concept of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So me, the result of where the nation is in terms of unemployment and so many different things, demonstration that the education book that we're reading isn't the right one.
Yeah.
Clearly, because
It's not valuable.
It's not valuable.
Yeah.
So we obviously need to invest in a different form of education that will bring about a different result. Yeah.
Hi. So when in your journey with value, and then you educated yourself, what was the first thing that you did to switch your self-worth and your value?
Meditation.
Do you want
to cry? Do you want to cry? I just quoted you right now.
You put it wrong. When I'm laughing, you
should
say
cry.
you want to cry.
You should cry. You should be proud of me.
Look at Tabo looking at you, pitying you. He's like, oh my God, you put it in the wrong place. Do that.
Meditation.
Yeah.
That was it. Because you have to change the system.
Yeah.
You know, and change your subconscious mind and change. I mean, you say the terms better. I mean, you teach this stuff. So, yeah.
I think for me, when it comes to just value, like of you speaking, just to add on, it's more just like when it comes to you, it's like, who does God say you are?
Amen.
And if you find yourself in the ditches or in just places you shouldn't be, ask yourself, does this glorify God and does this speak about who God says I am? And for me, anytime that I've ever ended up in a relationship where somebody does not respect me or treat me in a way that I feel glorifies the God essence in me and understands then I'm like, let me remove my God, because I am the incubator. I am the temple of this Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Therefore, I have so much respect for the Holy Spirit in me that if another Holy Spirit comes and unholifies me,
Out.
in the name of Jesus, cast those demons out. So, yeah, I just think even with work, relationships, I take pride in what I spend my God-given time doing, and I'll be doing God's work. And if anybody comes and tells me, no, what you're doing is worthless, no, you should be, asking for less, then I'm like,
Man, I ain't a
do
part
you
of
fear
this.
God? You don't fear God.
I need to tell the story.
What the value say?
So, we did a holiday one time. We went to Kenya, to Nairobi, and we're at the market. So at the time, I'm better now, but at the time, insofar as negotiation, certainly...
And understanding value.
Honestly. I mean, certainly not with things at the market. Let's be honest, okay? So we go in. I have money, she has money, and we're, looking at really...
No, we didn't have money.
We're waiting.
Had an issue.
We didn't have Kenyan shillings on us.
No, what happened is the Botswana cards were having an issue, right? And we have a specific amount of Kenyan shillings
to spend at the market.
And we had no access to capital
at the time.
Yeah.
So obviously the challenge is get as much as you can with the amount
with the
that
budget.
you have.
Yeah.
So I have an idea of
and you were buying your whole family gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So but I was accepting of if I'm gonna get 5 things out of this, that's all right.
No, you were not gonna be able to get for everybody, because remember there was that tea set you wanted to get your mom.
Yes.
And we were negotiating it.
Honestly, if we left without, I was gonna be fine. But Belle wanted to make sure that everybody in the family gets some, okay?
And beyond that, I wanted to make sure that we really pay the true value of what those things cost. Yeah.
There was a thing when she negotiated, it must have been 1 shilling.
You're like,
it
wasn't 1 shilling.
You even called everyone, and then you were like,
no.
You even called, you're like, what does this cost?
You must know the true price of things. It was actually a painting.
Yes.
And you actually gave me that painting.
No. There was a black parrot thing, and you wanted it for... I swear she wanted it for 1 shilling.
No.
I swear. We kept going back to that
I wanted
guy.
it for 1,000 or something.
Like,
the guy started off at 10,000 Kenyan shillings, and I'm like, 10,000 for this. Then I went low and I was like, no, give it to me for, I don't know, I must have called a crazy price, like the lowest that
Like
came
she
to
called
my
the
mind.
lowest, craziest price, and I was looking at her like, what? And then what's funny is then she called her partner, and then he called an even lower price than she did, and I was like,
It's like 1,000. No, that should be 500. I'm like, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
yeah. So yeah, what was funny is that the line that she kept using every time she called a price, and the person kept, trying to go above the price that she's calling, she'd be like, you don't fear God.
And it really worked
And
on
it
one woman.
worked.
It worked. That
It's
lady,
like, what?
with the specific woman that it worked with, and why I said it to her is because she was selling these things to us and calling a price, and I was trying to negotiate. So in a negotiation, you observe when you want to perceive what is the true value of things, you're negotiating, other people come in and they negotiate as well. So when I was paying attention, she's negotiating with us and saying, no, this is the value of this thing. And I'm like, no, go lower. Then a Kenyan guy comes. He was dating a white girl.
Oh yes, I remember that.
So normally with markets, they gauge you. They look at you.
Like, are you a
They
foreigner?
assess
Are you
Are
like
you
a
foreigner?
local?
Are you dressed a certain way? Based on how you present and whether you don't know the culture of the environment, they call the prices higher. Like
Yes.
10 times what the actual value of the thing is. So now we don't understand the language, Swahili, I should think they were speaking. And I just pay attention to the nonverbal communication. And the man starts to speak to the woman in that language because they realized they were foreigners. So he started negotiating. And then the woman now tells him, okay, take it for that price, but don't alert these women. Let's speak in our language. So I caught that. And I called her out and I was like, how come you're selling to him at a lesser price? Is it because he comes from the same country as you? And because we're foreigners, you're hiking the prices for us. So then I said, tell us the true value of this thing, Mama. And I asked her to go it lower. Then she's like, no. Then I was like, you don't fear God.
Did she not start shaking?
She shook.
And I was looking at Belle like, what are we doing here? Like, stop that.
She started shaking. She said, okay.
Oh, yeah, and she reduced the price.
She reduced the price. And
All
I
that
was
to
like,
say,
"Thank you."
guys, I got presents for our body.
Exactly.
Okay. And it was just a good lesson in the art of value conferment.
Yeah.
And the person that knows value obviously wins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the person who holds the ground and says, this is the price, also wins.
Yeah.
Because even when we were negotiating, I remember where you were buying the tea set, the lady was not budging.
Yeah.
And based on her not budging, we ended up buying from her actually.
Yeah.
Because then I was able to sense that if she gives me at the price I'm asking, then she's really made a loss.
Yeah.
Because if she wasn't gonna make a loss, then she would sell.
Yeah.
Then I was like, then whatever price she's calling
Is the true.
is the true.
Is the
The
true
the
price.
price we had agreed actually, because
Yeah.
she did go down, but
Yeah.
she wasn't willing to go
Any
any lower.
lower.
Then I was like, okay, this
Yeah.
is then the true value of this.
And there was also the dynamic of the market was now closing down, where
Yes.
people were now willing to reduce the price because of the fact that
They
they
need
need
to
to
make
make some sales for the day. So it's like, okay, fine. How much do you have left? Okay, fine. I'll let this go so that I have some some cash flow,
Yeah.
some transport money to take me home or something
Yeah.
like that. So that was an interesting dynamic. But funny, the story one struck me because do you remember the guy who told the story about
the child and the paintings. That's the one who I was
that's
negotiating.
the power
down.
of a story.
I'll be like, no, from 10,000
He
to
told a
1,000.
story
Yeah.
about how his son is blind or something like that.
No, he said that it was his girl child who was like very young, and he was like, my daughter painted this. She's 5 years old. You know, look at how talented she is. And we were like, you're lying. You are lying, sir. You're lying on your child. She did not paint that. You're just selling us a story.
Yeah, but it's very fascinating. Every now and then, just go to the market and see how that plays out. And I don't think it's any different in the terms of the sale of diamonds. I think all those dynamics, play out.
I think also choice is a good thing. Because when you look at the market, it was that the negotiation at the end of the day to force sales because they want to make a sale. But it was also the options we had to say, if you're not willing to sell, we're going to go on to the next seller. If they're not willing to meet us at our cost, we go to the next person. And I think Botswana can also do the same thing to say, let's go sell our diamonds. If you're not willing to buy, if you came to the auction and you think the prices are high, next time you're not invited. You're too poor for us. I'm joking. But yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
Take a
invited the
stance.
next time.
Take a stance.
Take a stance.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the passport one.
Yeah.
So Botswana recently is playing they call it something specific actually. Citizen by investment.
Yeah.
CBI.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're entering that fray now, and the Botswana passport will soon be for sale. I don't even know if that's the right lingo.
Yeah.
But I think as of 2026, you'll have an option to purchase a Botswana passport at the value of 1 million pula, which is obviously different amounts in different currencies, which is very interesting in terms of how did we come to that amount.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
I just think they possibly looked at what's taken place. I think Botswana's passport is the fourth most powerful passport in Africa. And they possibly looked at the Seychelles, the Mauritius, and other countries who are looking into citizenship for other people. With Mauritius, I don't think they sell their own. You have to spend some time in their country. With Botswana, we've always had a population issue, so people have always said, why don't you open up our borders? Whether we're ready for our borders to be open or for the passport to be sold, that's a conversation for another day. I don't know if Botswana are ready. I see the merit of it. In terms of the price, though, I'm like, 1 million pula. It's too little. We already had investment opportunities for the country. BITC, Botswana Investment Trade Center, heads that, where you would have an investor come in with 1.2 million. They would be facilitated in terms of like setting up their business, work permits, and also could even be given a piece of land for a certain lease period to run their business over there. So we already still had such things, even that were more lucrative than this passport. It's just that with the passport, I'm 50-50 about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, we need the population, we need the people, but 1 million is little, as I said, looking at how powerful our passport is.
Yeah.
And also the things that we have access to in our country.
Yeah.
From like the free education, free
Health,
healthcare.
access to land.
Exactly. So do these people who buy the passports have the same access as we have? Is there differentiation to say these people have our passport, but they don't have the Omang, and maybe the Omang is the one that affords you access to all these different governmental initiatives that we have access to? These people are meant to be buying the passport because they've got investment and they've got surplus money that come in to invest. But a lot of the times when you've seen this take place, the selling of passports, when we look at how Nigerians really understand that whole field, and they tend to buy other passports or invest in getting citizenship from other countries because of the situation in Nigeria. So they accumulate savings. I've got friends who've accumulated 100,000 to go and buy the St. Kitts. Is it St. Kitts? The Caribbean islands, they also do something similar. And they've bought the passport. So it's not like, it's an investor who's got surplus money to invest in the country and do all of these things. It's people who've worked hard, saved up that money, and they buy the passport in order to be able to tap into the benefits of that passport. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, and how do you then protect the native Botswana.
Yeah, so I think we can't say too much on it because we don't have the criteria yet. So they're still building the criteria of, and we wonder, of course, whether there'll be any differentiation, as you say, between like somebody who's bought a passport versus somebody who is resident here, or somebody who eventually naturalizes and gets the passport. But I agree with you. I'm half and half about it. Like, I think I agree with you in terms of population increase. I agree with you in terms of exploring another avenue for income, in terms of diversification. But I just wonder, like, with all its cons, whether we are ready whether it's something that needs to kind of be ideated and developed at least for a year, so that we come up with a system that then benefits everybody, and most importantly protects us from the people who will take advantage of it. I also do think, I mean, 1 million pula is a lot of money to our Motswana, but in terms of the world,
it's not.
100,000.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple of people who texted me, my foreign friends, who are just like, really? Happy.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't have to marry you now?
Passport
But just saying, like, there's a lot of people where they're quite liquid. And so this is not, like, I don't even think they even have to look into their life savings. This is money that they have
in their current account.
In their current account. And unfortunately, sometimes not always the best of people. You know, you have to think about, you know, drug lords and, you know, so I just think it's very important. I would just say timing. I think I would only say, like, let's think about it deeper and let's create very strong guiding frameworks.
When I was doing my research, I came across information that I think Senegal does something similar, and theirs is a bit more expensive than Botswana. But when you look at stability and just the culture of Botswana, a lot of investors are attracted to Botswana because of, you know, no history with war, civil wars, very peaceful, you know, and our money is very stable, our currency is very stable, so it's a very lucrative place to come and invest in, and that would make it attractive to the international community. But I would have preferred we conferred a little bit of value upon ourselves, and it'll also be interesting
and bet on ourselves, because I would say I would rather a situation where it's overpriced first, and then you have people saying, I'm interested. You have like a line of 100,000 say, we're interested, but it's too high. And then you respond to that, you know, interest. Versus like, it's so low that, like, honestly, somebody can buy this for their entire family. Say, we're all moving to Botswana. All I need is $1 million. Because $1 million equals 10 passports. USD, that is. Plus minus. So I'm like,
So it'll be interesting to see how this one unfolds. It'll be very interesting to see unfolds. I had something to say, but when you spoke, it disappeared. I guess it doesn't want to be said.
Do you want to round up the conversation?
Oh yes, I remembered my point. So it's gonna be interesting then, because, you know, there was strength in our passport because of the dynamics. Looking at Botswana, you know, it's a wealthy country, small population. UK gave us access and said, you can come into our country anytime you feel like it. We're not going to ask you for visas. But there's been like a very, like, I don't know, funny relationship between the UK and Botswana. So this is an interesting stance because I think it also just dabbles into sovereignty. Because UK, in order to, when they give you access, they want you to adhere to a certain way of behaving. So now that we're opening up our passports to other people, are they still going to have the same bilateral agreements and stance that they had with the access that we had to that country? But there's been, I wouldn't say a cold war, but hostility in the last few years, because it's been harder to travel to the UK as a Motswana person. They make you go through this rigorous interview. And it's like they also just do it from a posture of, we don't want you in, as opposed to, we're welcoming of you to come.
But we just need to make sure that...
To make sure you adhere to this. So, you know, you're grilled in the process, and I've gone through it, you've gone through it. And it's quite intense. Even just...
Almost didn't see Beyonce, guys.
Even the soft closure. There was a soft closure of the embassy for so long. I call it a soft closure because you're not even allowed access in. You can't go inside. You don't have, like, for I think 2-3 years, the embassy here was closed. So being that things have been a bit strained for whatever reason, what is going to happen when we start selling the passports? You know, I think that'll be interesting to watch. But I think it's a powerful
move. For sure.
I would even say in setting up the criteria, make it more easily accessible to the African investor, you know, and let's come together as Africans, because that's the only way that we build our voice and we build our sovereignty and our stances, because obviously with such a thing, the powers that are would try to exert their own pressures so that we don't do, but still adhere and conform to their own culture and adhere to a stance that they want us in, you know. So now that we're really shifting things, you know, the Chinese are going to be buying our passports, the Russians are going to be buying our passports, the Nigerians. Is that something that Great Britain will like? I don't know. But we're doing it because we're sovereign. We understand our self-worth, we understand our value, and we're shifting different things to make sure that we create the neural pathway of how valuable we are as diamond babies, as Botswana, as Africans. Thank you so much for watching this episode. My name is Belsabo Ame.
I am Shatani Somalakai.
And you've been watching the Sapiosexual Platter.